Hello and welcome to the Glasgow Engineering Build Off. Today we're welcoming 6 schools here at the University of Glasgow where they're coming to compete with their own robots. So over the past 8 weeks they've been putting together Lego robots, each of them doing a different thing, a different functionality or just a different talent. And today they're going to show us what they've done. So they're going to compete into 2 categories. One of them is line following, so whichever robot is best at following a line in a track. And the other ones are going to compete on a talent. So whatever you may think, your robot may be able to sing or just to dance or do something completely different. These kids have been mentored by University of Glasgow 4th year students. These students have gone to the schools for 4 sessions. They help kids with all of the programming, design, and everything else around they put in their own robot.
In the public engagement and teaching course, we're kind of the students that are taking part in the course this semester. So what we kind of did was our first semester was planning the course.
In this outreach project, kind of the whole purpose of it was to deliver these programs to schools, and we were doing that in the form of classes, so we arranged 4 lessons for each school.
So the first lesson we did mechanical engineering, and that was like them building the robot and learning about CAD and things like that.
Putting it together, thinking about how they wanted it to drive or walk or things like that, what the wheels would look like if they wanted to use the tank tracks, things like that, and then kind of putting that all together to get sort of a base.
Like it was too heavy and stuff, and like the center of mass was a bit off, so we had to like completely break it down and build it again.
The second section was the introduction to the programming, so it was a Scratch programming platform. They were able to have a look at the coding blocks, things like that, see how they wanted to put them together, see if their robot would move, and then that required a bit of troubleshooting at the end.
Probably making it move, I think, like was the hardest part to program, because we needed to like figure out all the code and things like that.
The third one was control design engineering, so that was them learning about the line following.
That was adding on the sensor for the light sensor so they could follow the line. Again, that was more a sort of program heavy sort of lesson.
Our primary function was to make it do line following. We had an ultrasonic sensor on it as well, so we can do obstacle avoidance. So it will change path if it comes into contact with something, turn around. And it would follow the lines as well on the floor. If we had black tape, it would follow around the path.
There was a lot of kind of problem solving involved because some of them wanted to customise the robot, but one of the things they wanted to do was they wanted to put like things in the front of it. But they quickly discovered that when you pair it with a sensor, you've got to account for that with a sensor, because if the sensor is here, but the actual back of the robot is here, then the sensor might not necessarily detect that this part's going to hit the wall because the sensor isn't.
And then the fourth lesson was on the talent show sort of thing. So throughout the whole thing, I had them thinking creatively about what they'd like their robot to do. I was like, the sky's the limit, whatever you want them to do on the robot and the talent show, they can do that. I had them draw it on paper first, kind of brainstorming things like that. And then we put that together to kind of get the finished product.
Our robot is special because of the team that built it, because of the challenges we faced, and as you can see if you ever interview some of the other people that were one of the younger groups. So yeah, that's a challenge we have to go for.
I have my own ways that I perceive different things after my time in university, but seeing how they kind of approach the tasks without that kind of background knowledge that an engineering student might have, and seeing how they approach the creativity task and things like that was really interesting.
They enjoyed just being able to kind of problem solve and work through something where they were actually physically making the changes to it.
For them to develop their sort of creativity and team working skills was brilliant. They helped each other learn bits of programming as well.
Some of them have never been to Glasgow Uni before, so this is their first experience coming to a university and seeing what it's about. And I think the way that the day's been set up, it's been really helpful for them just to meet with some of the university students, get a feel for what the clubs and societies are going to be like if they choose to come here.
I'm really proud of the personality that went into it. We first started off with 2 teams, but we've eventually come together to just produce this robot.
Everything works and there's nothing that went wrong.
Efficient it is as well, like we made it, like it took a lot of time to do it, but it works really well, it does what it's meant to do.
And it was really special to see their confidence grow, especially in some of the girls. In the first couple of weeks, they were quite nervous. Today, they explained what their robot did and they were quite confident in what they were saying. They learnt a lot about how different engineering is. Not like you don't go to university and just study engineering, you go and study a specific discipline within engineering. So I think their general understanding has improved significantly.
There's actually a fair bit of enthusiasm because these pupils they're used to being in a school where it's one building, but I think seeing just the sheer busyness and how big it is and there's a lot going on, I think that they've really liked that. It's a bit of an insight for them into hopefully what their future can be.
It is just something so different from anything else you can do at university. Even with societies, I mean, sometimes you do open days and these kind of things, but it's the whole lot. You're planning, you're going out and delivering these things. You're using so many different skills that you're gonna need in the future. And I think this class is the perfect place to develop those.
It's really rewarding. You really get to see the students sort of start from very little knowledge and really build themselves up to a point where they really understand what they're doing and how they can really build something from zero to everything.
Seeing the kids get so overjoyed, especially today when it was like working and things like this, I think that was kind of what gave me that rewarding experience. And I was surprised by just how much like fun I was having alongside them.
For schools, it's invaluable to us. I mean, we wouldn't have the money to purchase equipment like this. There's also just a lot of time commitment for teachers running clubs. And so when the university got in touch and said that they would send a student out to work with us, I was like, hands down, we absolutely need to take part.
But getting it to actually do what they wanted it to do and seeing that the thing that they've done in the computer is now actually able to make an impact in real life, that's not really something that we've always got the opportunity to show them, you know, which is really cool.
They've progressed in very large amounts from the very beginning where they didn't really know how to program and use any softwares before to all of a sudden being able to make the program play music or even follow lines and actually learn how to tune things. So really they've learned so much from the very beginning to where they are now.
That shows them the reality that this is possible for them. And I think that's why it's so valuable, showing them these are possibilities for you, you know, like that it's no just, it doesn't have to be just this narrow outlook on what you're going to do in your life. You've got so many different options that you can take.
We come from quite a rural area, farming communities and maybe families where pupils haven't really gone to university in the past. And so it's given them an experience and kind of showing them that they could pursue this path for higher education if they wanted to.